Hello and welcome to another WooHoo weekend, brought to you by a bunch of demonstrators who regularly feature in the Global Share Fair. Today we are bringing you one of 4 different collections or bundles, and my bundle is found on pages 108 and 109 of the Annual Catalogue. This beautiful coloured designer series paper is absolutely fantastic and coordinated with the stamp set and the dies. I will be showing you a range of features to make the most of your collection. These are my 2 favourite sheets of designer series paper because there are 6 dies, 4 floral and 2 leaf dies that you can cut every single image on these 2 sheets. I will point them out to you here. So this metal die, I have lined up the little bracket shape here, little niche in there. And then this one here has got a rounded flower top, more like a rose. This one here looks like a hat because it's got a round top piece as though it sits on top of a hat. And then over here we have a couple of leaves. We have the 2-prong leaf here. We have the 5-prong leaf here. And we have this one that has the stem and it's easy to identify. So all of those images line up. Now what we do have to be careful of is lining these up. We couldn't then place this die onto this image because the dies cannot overlap when you cut them. So hence I've put these on separate pieces and I just rough cut between the pieces and then put them through the die cutting machine. All of these images on 2 of this sheet and 2 of this sheet can all be die cut. I like to do that ahead of time and place them in a little container. I will have a few other samples to show you during my hour, but today I will be using a different colourway. I'm starting with a half sheet of my standard cardstock, cut in metric at 10.5 centimetres all the way down, or imperial at 4 1/4. I've then turned my cardstock and I'm going to mark it in half again. So for metric it's 14.85 and 5.5 in imperial. Crease that line and then use a bone folder to crease that edge firmly. Okay, for my white layers I have cut at 8.5 centimetres by 12.5 centimetres, which is 3 3/8 of an inch by 5 inches. One of those layers will be on the top and one will be attached on the inside for my liner. On top of that, I'm going to start by choosing my designer series paper that I would like to use. So the 6th sheet that I hadn't shown you in the samples earlier have all been cut into panels, regular panels, and my go-to size is 7.5 centimetres by 11.5 or 3 inches by 4.5 inches. Okay, so this whole sheet has been cut and I have done this in the purples already, so I'm going to siphon through here. You'll see how the colours can vary going through from the purples through to starting into bringing in the yellows. So you've got a couple of all colours there, just tailing off from that a little bit more and then gradually getting through to the yellows, oranges and pinks. So I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to have my Melon Mambo as my base card. So I'm going to choose one with some Mango Melody in here as well. I'm going to have that piece. With my designer series paper layer, I'm going to bring in an accent layer, just a fraction larger. So if my designer series paper is 7.5 by 11.5, then my Melon Mambo layer is going to be 7.8 by 11.8 centimetres or 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. Okay, so I will adhere those 2 layers together. And then I'm going to place these flat onto my white layer. You can leave this one flat and these ones raised. It is entirely up to you what effect you'd like to have. In fact, for this one, I think I might do this layer flat and Stampin' Dimensionals in between. The Tombow is such an excellent adhesive. Really can be very sparing with that. Okay, so there's my white layer down. The piece to go inside can go in there as well. Okay, so then this panel is ready to go on the front here, and I'm going to attach that with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And just work out which way up you'd like that to be on your card. I think that way looks a little bit more upright. Okay, so we're going to place this on here, making sure to get that evenly before it goes down. Okay, I look at my corner edges until I'm happy and then compress. Okay, so we've just got a little bit of dimension there. Okay, so there's my card at that level. Now, while we have the decoration going on, when you are die cutting your images, you will find that you end up with pieces like this that are on a straight edge or maybe in a corner like down here. All of these pieces on the outside edges can be used. They can be layered or they can be placed into a corner like this. So with the colourings today, I'm going to place this piece in the corner, holding in my tweezers, scribble of Tombow, and place that down. And that's bringing those colours through to the back there. Just going to quickly show you how I cut my images to go on the front of this card. So here is one of my sheets of card. This is a half sheet. I have come in here between the images and rough cut this image out. And this is the one I will process through my mini cut and emboss machine. Taking the corresponding die, and remember that I look for this little bracket. There's a little nick in the side there that I think makes it easier to find. And that piece there, and these will fall into place. If you want to hold your die down, you can use a little tiny piece of Scotch tape, just to make sure that it doesn't move whilst cutting. Placing your second clear plate on the top of your cutter, make sure that the plates are staggered. And then it will make it easier going through your machine. This little piece can go in the rubbish. And this will just push away from the back. And the Scotch tape can be placed on your machine and used again on another cut. There is my image. Just shows you how I cut some of those images. I'm bringing my tray back on. I'm going to take a few of these images to decorate my card. So that brings through the mango melody from the back here. And if I can find a smaller red image, that will bring it back to the melon mambo on here. So I think this one will, as we raise these layers, this one will be flat on this section and raised around the corner. So I need some dimensionals to come around this edge. Place those. I'm keeping my fingers on here to keep the dimensionals where I want them to be. and then apply some Tombow on this corner that's going to be attached to the card. Okay, so we'll turn that back over. Tombow is coming on the flat, and these will match up the layers. So this one can be double matted, so at a jaunty angle. The card is being given by hand. You could apply more foam pads on here. If you wish to post it, then I would put that flat layer. And apologies if you can hear a fly. There's a nasty fly in here this evening as I'm recording. A big beast of a fly. So I'm just going to place that on there, a jaunty angle again. And now we're ready for the sentiment. Keep those leaves on there, just ready for my putting round my sentiment in a second. I'll come back to those. Now I'm cheating slightly because I'm going to be using these die cuts are from the Sending Smiles dies, Stampin' Die set. They are absolutely gorgeous, and you will find that several of these images and the stamp set will actually cut beautifully on here. Best Wishes works lovely. Just be careful if you have the longer dies, the longer letters where you have a top and a bottom, you will actually cut those off. Okay, but many of these will actually sit nicely in the middle there. And I think I'll use the Happy Birthday today because I would like my die to actually be hanging just to give some dimension off the side there. So popping my Happy Birthday onto the stamp here, I have a piece of basic white cardstock. Some of the papers in this suite work really nicely with a Night of Navy ink, but as there's no navy on this card, I've gone to the Tuxedo Black Memento pad. Beautifully clean font on here. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to run that through quickly through my cut and emboss machine again.
We've grown strong together, you know it's all because everybody plays a part in doing what we love. You can bet it doesn't matter where you go. You find a friend who does just what they love and lets it show. One card at a time can really change the way we live. Focused on the sharing and the chance we have to.
Okay, I am going to put this one flat because these are raised, but I don't want adhesive on this end here that's going to be hung over the edge. Put Tombow along here, and once I know where my Tombow is sitting, I'm going to take one small dimensional and just pop that on the bottom here so that it is not sitting in mid-air. I'm just going to bring back my tray, and some of the leaves in here. Remember we had the two different ones that are in this set. We have the 2-prong and we have two of the different colorways. So we have the 5 prongs there and a darker one there. So just play with your card and see what you would like to position where.
Just do what you love, live it, share it, you know, it's what you're dreaming of, it's what you're dreaming of, what we love, what we do, makes a difference in me and you, all these years of inspiration and love, oh, how we live, what we say, it's Stampin' Up and it's our way, to love, live and share it today, what we love, what we do, the difference in me and you. 30 years of...
Same with this one, it's a 2-prong leaf, but if I put it there, then this is going to see both leaves. This will hang off the bottom. You can then snip this through the center and attach them individually.
Gonna love
this one beside it. Don't be afraid to snip those leaves and your shapes, just like using up the edges of the flowers where they've been cut off, like I did on the liner on the inside here. Don't be afraid to cut those leaves and make them purposefully fit where you want them to fit. Whilst I love my floral card, you can't beat a bit of Wink of Stella. So give your Wink of Stella a little shake, squeeze it onto a piece of scrap card off camera so that you don't have a blob on your flower, and then add some accents. Just highlight some areas where you would like some sparkle. It's on here with my Wink of Stella, just along some crease lines, as though it's a little bit of frost glistening on it. Okay, like so, and on the leaves as well. And that's finished. Because of the colourings today, I've chosen to use my champagne rhinestones. So if I bring those onto the camera, I'm going to use some of these smaller ones. And if I hold my tweezers on their side, I'm just going to place one on the end of this banner and just randomly put some of these on my card in odd numbers, and have some off the edges as well. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I will keep to odd numbers. So we'll have another odd one off the card up there. Okay, and there is your card. Your inside has been added some flowers. We could actually add that sentiment on the inside as well. Just ink that up with some tuxedo black and stamp this straight to the inside of your card. Of course, if you were to do this before you stuck it in, you could do this nicely on the Stamparatus. And there is my finished card. Some lovely sparkle, some beautiful coloured flowers. And I'm going to show you a similar one that I've done previously using the purple and turquoise shades in that paper from exactly the same sheet, just different areas of the paper. And I have used the stitched greenery in the background. So I hope you like that card today and hope that you will enjoy using the Happiness Abounds Designer Series paper and collection. As with all our presentations today, if you do see anything that you wish to purchase, then please refer to the demonstrator who referred you to this group and presentations today. Thanks again for watching and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.